but I hate doing that because it cramps my. Oh, we're going. Hello, everyone. Hold on. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a Generational Anime Podcast. I'm Charles, and I'm here with my father, Mark.
Hey, Charles. How are you?
Good. How are you?
All right.
You want to reset us real quick?
Sure. We are a Generational Anime Podcast.
Gen is in generational?
Gen is in generational. I am Gen Xer. You are Gen Zer.
Yeah.
And we like to talk about anime from the perspective of two pretty far off generations.
I thought you were going to say two pretty handsome guys.
Two pretty handsome guys.
I mean, that too, of course. But
thank you. You can email us.
Yes, you can email us at generationalanimepod@gmail.com. Once again, that is generationalanimepod@gmail.com.
But unfortunately,
we have no emails to read today.
There's a small tear coming from my eye because we have no emails today.
No emails?
I did email Brad back because we shouted out Brad in the last episode, but he never got back to us. So I sent him an email back. I still want to know what his top 5 anime are. Remember, he said Steins Gate was his number 5, and I really want to know his top 4.
Yeah, if you email us, we'll email you back. We don't mind just having full-on discussions with you guys. That's kind of the point and the fun of this.
That's right.
So today we are going over Bleach 1000 Year Blood War Cour 2 because we are a Bleach podcast now, of course, just like we were a Steins Gate podcast. We pick a note and we stick to it.
I still want to intersperse other things. Like I told you, I had that one idea of just like top 5 lists.
Yeah.
Of just random top 5 things like protagonist, setting, blah, blah, blah.
I mean, top 5 protagonists. Number 1, Okabe Rintaro. Number 2,
That's
Okabe
fine.
Rintaro. Number 3, Okabe Rintaro. Number 4, Okabe Rintaro. Number 5, Okabe Rintaro.
Couldn't you at least have put Ichigo at 5?
Number 6, Hyoin Kyoma. Number 7, Ichigo.
Yeah, so we'll be talking about Cour 2 of 1000 Year Blood War.
Yes.
But first,
he wants to talk about One Piece.
I want to talk about One Piece.
Go ahead.
Did we decide what else we've been watching? There's nothing else you've been watching?
There's nothing else I've been watching that's new. We both are thinking about watching Dan. I've heard it's kind of like Yokai Watch-ish to a degree.
Oh, is it really?
Because they find ghosts in a school. I mean, that's similar enough.
I watched about the first 2 minutes of it. And, yeah, I want to watch it for sure. I watched...
Sorry, my phone's going off.
I watched Uzumaki.
Uzumaki. It's what, Naruto guy?
No, is that the wrong name? It's the Spiral.
Yeah. The Junito.
Yeah.
The one that drops animation quality after the first episode.
Yes.
They spent all their budget on episode 1.
Even I noticed it, and I don't usually notice that.
It was so bad from what I saw.
I mean, I liked it.
Oh, yeah. I heard the stories were good. It was just...
I don't know how well it translates. I haven't read the manga, but I've heard a lot of people say that it doesn't translate real well. Horror anime is a tough thing.
It definitely is.
It's much easier to portray horror in a live action than it is something that's animated.
Yeah, that or like game as a medium as well is really good for horror, in my opinion.
Yeah. But I liked it. It was definitely entertaining. Okay, so I'm just about finished with Thriller Bark.
Yes.
So I am.
Yeah, as a horror anime, how good do you think Thriller Bark is?
As a horror, I'll give it a 5. But overall, I really liked it.
Thriller Bark's actually like a kind of polarizing arc for people. People either really like Thriller Bark or they really don't like Thriller Bark.
I've never heard anybody say anything bad about it. I've always heard everybody I've talked to.
I've heard some people badmouth Thriller Bark. I think they just don't like the more funny approach. One Piece always going to have those undertones, but Thriller Bark very much takes on a wackier comedic approach compared to what was before it. Right? Because Water 7 and all that stuff is pretty...
I don't know that it's... you just said it. There's comedy interspersed throughout all of it. And
But I think Thriller Bark really ramps it up, you know?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe having Frankie and introducing Brooke just kind of does that a little bit.
they're the two funny guys.
But I really liked it. I'm at the very end. I think I've got about 2 episodes left before it finishes up. So
Amen.
I am I'm really liking it. But again, it kind of is taking over everything. I want to watch some other stuff, but I keep going back to One Piece. Okay. So you ready to go with Bleach 1000 Year Blood War Cour 2?
I am more than ready.
Do you want to talk about it overall first, or do you want to get into it and then
let's talk about it.
Let's
talk about it overall first.
Okay.
So Bleach Cour 2 of 1000 Year Blood War, the main thing that you'll notice when watching this is the lack of Ichigo. There is pretty much...
Even in Cour 1, there wasn't a lot of Ichigo.
Yeah, but I mean, you still had a good amount of Ichigo. But like in Cour 2, Ichigo really takes a backseat. And I think our opinions on this one are going to be polarized. But I don't think it affects it that much, in my opinion. And I really enjoy that aspect of it. And I applaud Cour 2 for doing this. It almost really took me, like, thinking about the fact that Ichigo wasn't there and them bringing him back to be like, oh, yeah, Ichigo hasn't been there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think you disagree with this, right?
Not
to a degree.
Not for the reason you're necessarily thinking. I don't want to say dislike, because I didn't dislike it. I liked it, but I didn't like it as much as Cour 1. But it's not because Ichigo's not there. It's because I think there are too many mid-level Quincy's.
Yeah, that's fair.
And on top of that, there's a few of them that I really just don't like.
God, I'll name a few I don't like.
Well, let's wait till we get to it. But so I don't like it as much as Cour 1. I like the ending. The ending 3 or 4 episodes I really enjoyed.
Yeah, yes. That final battle is like the best part of that and Shinji.
And I really enjoyed that part of it, but the first 9 episodes I didn't fully love. So but the end I did. Okay, so what we'll do is I took notes. I don't want to go necessarily
over your notes completely.
Yeah, over the notes.
We don't want a Steins Gate.
But
there's no reason
I'll
to.
use those to guide it. So episode.
God, I'm looking at a list of all the Quincy's right now just to like get their names right.
Mm-hmm.
There's some in here I don't even remember.
Oh, I don't even
like not even like don't remember their names, but don't remember their fights.
And by the way, I was just kind of trying to get your attention because I don't know if it's going to show up in the background, but we had the
washing machine
go
damn
off.
Dryer yeah, I know.
Running behind us. And I didn't have the laundry room door closed.
Okay, so I have the whole list
of what
of all the Quincy names.
Okay, well let's talk about them as we get to them.
I know. I'm just saying.
All right. So in episode 1, the big thing was that Uru is named the successor to Yhwach,
which really pisses off Jugram, kind of. Right?
Kind of.
It pisses him off.
Yeah.
Jugram's like, "Hey, bro, what the fuck? You just got here, and I'm its loyal side." Also, side note, dude, Jugram is like the best drawn character ever.
Is that the long blonde hair guy?
That's the long blonde hair guy. So who's very much Aryan.
He's basically Yhwach's right hand man for the most part. Okay.
He's the guy with the balance, the scales.
Okay.
And I think it's really funny how the German-based faction, the right-hand man, is a long-haired, blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy.
Were Germans blonde-haired, blue-eyed?
That's what Hitler wanted.
Blonde hair?
Yeah, Hitler wanted blonde hair, blue eyes. That's the Aryan race.
Okay.
I find that funny.
No, it is kind of funny. I mean, obviously it leans very hard into
Nazi propaganda.
I guess it's not that unusual.
Bleach is very much.
It's not that. A lot of anime
has political undertones.
Well,
I mean, One Piece does. For,
German,
Yeah.
using the German Nazi
Yes,
stuff.
yes,
But
yes,
I mean,
yes.
it makes sense when you
Well,
think about the fact that.
kind of. I feel like you're darting to Tokyo Revengers.
No, I'm actually thinking
Okay.
about
Well,
Alucard. What's Alucard?
Helsing.
Helsing, like Helsing. The
Oh yeah, I guess that and
leans very hard into.
JoJo Part 2 as well.
Oh yeah, and JoJo Part 2. Yeah.
Okay, I thought you just meant that symbol, which I was gonna be. Actually, it's a peace symbol that they took and blah 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 blah.
Nope.
But yeah.
All right. So the other takeaways from episode 1 is Ichigo's training
Yes.
in the palace in that green isolated area.
And his eyes kind of freak out a little bit, or is that
Yes.
later?
I don't remember.
But later we learn that that's
It's very intense training where he's going through tons of. I guess it's lots of spiritual pressures.
yes.
I mean, he's
And he grows the eyes, which is a Soul King thing, which
Okay.
we learn later on, because Yuhaba does it, and so does Ichibei,
okay.
not to be confused with Ichigo.
I watched a summary video last night of Cour 2, and I actually learned a lot of stuff that I didn't pick up on.
Hell yeah.
So Chad and Orihime are training under Kisuke.
Orihime.
Orihime are training. I wrote Orihime. Orihime are training under Kisuke. The Vizeret are joining the Soul Society.
Yes.
Renji and Rukia are training also, I think, up at the palace, right?
They're just getting better, but yes.
Byakuya is healing in the spa.
Amen.
And Sunshui gives he gives passes to the
Yes, he gives the soul tickets.
yeah
He gives the soul tickets to Ichigo's friends and says, hey, if Ichigo goes to his full potential to beat the Quincy's,
Yep.
he will not be able to return to you guys. Which I think is implying that if Ichigo reaches his true form, he might become the next Soul King.
Okay, that makes sense. And so he's given passes to be able to come and visit him.
Yes.
And then it ends with it's the last 9 days of the world. The Quincy's put the Serite in a big bubble.
Yes.
And they begin their attack.
Because they don't have their time limit anymore if they just take the whole Serite.
So then we find out in episode 2 that the Quincy's have actually been hiding in the Serite for the last 1,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
And their invasion begins from within the Serite.
Exactly.
This episode...
There's also... They explain it... No, my bad. I'm thinking of something else. Forget me.
Okay, so I think much of this episode is
Just
dominated
exposition.
by... No, it's by Rengiku and
Toshiro
Toshiro
fighting Baz B, my goat.
Yeah.
Right?
No, that's who he's fighting, but why are you calling him your goat?
Because he's cool. He's funny. He's awesome.
Okay.
Because remember later on, he's the one who tanks the Yuhaba thing later on.
Okay, all right.
He's cool.
I'll give him that.
Baz B's cool. He kind of reminds me of Josuke a lot.
Okay, I just don't like his mohawk, but okay.
That's why he reminds me of Josuke though, because he's got the haircut and he's always talking about his haircut.
Okay, all right. Okay.
I think he's got got a fun personality.
You're changing
too.
my mind in real time.
He's got a fun personality.
I have in my notes that
His shrift is H, the heat.
yeah, he's heat, and so it's pretty cool. I mean, this is a cool fight. I like
yeah.
this one. It's fire and ice fight, obviously.
Yes. And during this fight, we learn about how they can reverse their stolen Bankais. Yeah, it is.
It's that's
It's the very end of this fight.
But in my notes, I have though in the fight, I thought it was cool. So Rengiku makes a vacuum of ice.
Yes, that was cool.
Yeah. She geeks out explaining it. She's my waifu.
She is. You have to have one Bleach waifu. You can't have more than one.
She's my only one. Oh, okay.
I was gonna say, buddy.
All right.
Buddy.
Okay, I guess I can have two.
No, you have to pick one. Rangiku or Squad Zero girl? Pick one.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes three then.
Who were you thinking? It's the second one.
The
guy who's with Shunsui, or the girl who's with Shunsui?
No.
He's gonna go. That makes four.
Why can't I think of the cat girl's name?
Oh, Yoruichi.
Yoroichi.
You have to pick one. Squad Zero go Yoruichi or Rangiku. Everyone picks one.
I pick Rangiku.
Rangiku? That's fair.
Okay. What happened with Soifan in this one?
Soifan was fighting the guy made out of metal, right? The knight?
Oh, okay. And then
because their two fights are going simultaneously.
Yes. And then this is where Kisuke calls Mayuri and tells him that he's found a way to get the Bankais back.
So they explain this kind of in Core 1 and how the reverse to a Quincy is a hollow.
Yeah, that's right.
So Kisuke invents a little black pill that if a Soul Reaper takes will temporarily hollowify their Bankai. So everyone who has a Bankai takes their pill, gets their Bankai back from the Quincy's, and they all have a little hollow mask, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
Toshiro's is made out of ice, and he gets his Bankai back, and it's like even stronger too.
Yes, it is. And actually, this all probably happens in episode 3. Not that it matters.
Because episode 4, I think.
One note I have is resurrection.
Yes.
Resurrection cannot be stolen from.
Yes. That's what it was. And that's why Kisuke figured it out because. Oh no.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Because it was
Kisuke figures out.
Because the fight with the one guy in Core 1 who jailed Ichigo. Remember, he absorbed.
Oh yes.
One thing with Blute Venu, and they noticed how he all got disheveled and whatnot.
Okay. Yes. In this episode, Shinji uses Upside Down.
That's 4. This is 4, right?
No, we're in 3.
3?
Mm-hmm. The masked wrestler attacks.
Shinji uses Upside Down or his Bankai? He does both.
Oh.
Shinji uses Bankai too. Which, fun fact about Shinji Bankai is Shinji Bankai was not in Thousand Year Blood War manga. What?
I'm just laughing at my notes.
So Shinji Bankai was not in Thousand Year Blood War manga. It was actually from a light novel that Tite Kubo authored, which had Shinji Bankai, who was on his own little mission and whatnot.
Okay.
So they incorporated something not in the manga into the anime, which is the awesome part about Thousand Year Blood War. They can change out what they want. And that's kind of the main evidence. And some of the Core 3 stuff that's going on is jumping around to hell and back to create a better storyline.
All right. So my notes make me laugh.
Shinji's got a cool theme, though, when he's in his Bankai. It's like this chill music, and everyone just kills each other because he inverts their allies into enemy. I really like Shinji. I'm sorry.
I do, too. My notes make me laugh, and they kind of illustrate why part of like these middle episodes I don't really like. Not only is it, I think, too many mid-level Quincy's, but it's too many of the captains and lieutenants from Bleach that were never really highlighted. My notes literally say that Shinji uses Upside Down.
On Bambietta.
Mask Wrestler attacks Baldy, Fashion, and 69.
And then
I never know the 69 guy's name.
I don't either. Like, the bald guy is Ikaku, and I can't think of the other guy, the fashion guy. But yeah. I know Ikaku because
is the fashion guy the one who does the? He's got the Bankai that's the musical one.
No. The fashion guy is the guy with the long eyebrows. Oh, Yumichaka.
Yes. You're right.
It's Ikaku, Yumichaka, and 69.
And then I like the brunette Quincy who wants to fight the doggy.
Yes.
I think that's funny.
It's Bambietta, right?
I don't. Yes, it probably is.
It's yes. I hate Bambietta.
Yeah, but I like that she calls him doggy.
I know.
The Quincy's appear to be defeated when the Quincy's all power up with stars from the sky.
Yes.
And then episode ends.
Wabahach, Yubahawa, however you want to say his name, he all pops their Volt Standig. When they all seem to be at low, so they all get that pillar of light in the sky. You hear the bells, and they all grab their wing. They all get their wings and their little halo, and they power up.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Episode 4: the Quincy girls get wings.
Yes.
Doggy guy comes back to help Shinji and fight
Bambietta. Is this when he uses a Bankai?
Doggy blocks attacks. He's not a doggy anymore. He had to give up his being a dog.
Yeah, he had to give up being a dog.
Okay, and then he's got his giant
giant Bankai, but it's like
it's
spiritual.
Well, no, it's just giant
yeah.
Bankai. It's like a big samurai.
Yeah. But there's something special about it, right? Because it's like...
He's immortal.
Yeah, yeah, that's what he is. He doesn't have a heart, so he's immortal. He's a zombie, basically.
And this is, again, whenever I noticed it here, it's all CG.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're doing this.
Yeah,
as a
he does.
thing.
Yeah,
like
he does. Yeah.
When they go to their
It's for
Bankai,
sure they do it for
it's
the thing.
oftentimes CG.
Well, even Shinji's Bankai is CG, and it's just petals surrounding him or leaves that incorporate him.
Yes.
Compass. Whatever.
And then I have here about, it just says release Quincy Voltstern.
Volt Sandig.
Did that already happen? Though?
Yeah, that's when their powers happen and they get the wings. Yeah, you're right. It is a lot of mid. I feel like a lot of this stuff was later
Dude,
in episode 4, but you're so
okay,
right.
So at
dude.
this point in time, damage is bad. Only 30% of fighting capacity is left within the Serite. So they 70%
Yes, they're
of them
dying.
have
They're
been defeated. I put in here. I love Mayuri's hate of Sun Shui.
Yeah.
He hates Sun Shui so much.
Yeah, because he's so laid back and nonchalant.
So Sun Shui orders everybody to retreat and regroup.
Oh yeah, the dog guy beats Vampietta, right? Or is that later?
Well, okay, and I know this is shonen, and this happens a lot, but
Guys, they beat the guy. Who could have guessed?
well, in this particular core, to me, it's so hard to know when anybody's dead. I literally went from in my notes writing so and so died to it appears so and so died.
Yeah. So what happens is the doggy fights and then they fight the ring guy. I'm looking at the episode list right now. So 17 is Heart of the Wolf, 18 is Rages at Ringside.
Well, now I have that the guy with the exploding fist, the captain who has the exploding fist, fights the masked wrestler.
Yes. Because
And
that's their whole
this
fight.
is where I have exploding fist might be dead. Okay.
Oh, and then
I hate the masked wrestler guy.
oh, I do too.
There are others that I hate more, but I hate him. Actually.
Do you like the little mole guy with him?
What's his name?
James.
James.
I just saw it on the wiki. His name's James. Mask to Mask and James.
The recap video I was watching on YouTube, the guy would say everything that every time he'd say James, he'd be like James, just because it's so ridiculous that his name is James.
James.
Okay, this is where the long blonde captain comes in and he cuts James in half.
Yes, so he's the string guy. He's the Visored. So he was the Visored, and I thought he had gray hair. Is it gray or blonde?
Well, I said blonde. I don't know.
I don't know, but he's got long hair. He's the Visored because he's the one who cut up the Menos
Okay.
at fake Katakura Town. And I remember him doing that because he wrapped his string around the Menos and just kind of sliced it like a dental floss through birthday cake.
Okay.
So yeah, he kills James, and then he uses his Bankai on Mask to Mask.
Yes.
And his whole Bankai is a 3-act musical type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like orchestra, it's symphonied, and each act tells a different part of the life or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's about to get to Act 3, and then Mask to Mask guy goes, I figured out what your Bankai does. Fuck you. I poked my eardrums out so I can't hear the music, and now you can't kill me.
Yes. And Renji shows up now?
Yes. Renji shows up, and he starts fighting Renji. And they're battling here and there, and then Renji goes, so, hey guys, remember how I had a Bankai, right? So my Bankai hated me so much.
And now it doesn't.
That it actually lied to me about its name. So here's my full Bankai name, and I'm actually going to get my first victory ever, and I'm no longer a fraud. So that was actually, like, really awesome. I was sitting there, and I'm like, oh my god, Renji's redeemed himself. Like, I'm sorry, full Bankai Renji is the coolest shit ever.
So remind me of why you call Renji a fake?
The joke of Renji being a fraud is that A, he has a Bankai and asks Ichigo to go save his girlfriend for him. Back in like that first arc of Bleach, because Ichigo defeats Renji not Katakura Town, but in the Serite, and then he goes, Ichigo, go save my girl, please.
Oh, Okay. All right. Okay.
when he has a Bankai, and it's that, and just in every fight he's in, he doesn't start using his sword. He enters a fight, goes roar, Zabimaru, and then loses.
Yeah. Okay.
He uses his
now
Bankai
he
all the time,
now
and
he can use
always
Zabimaru.
loses. Yes, now he
Okay.
gets full Zabimaru, and he's cool.
I have in my note. I didn't realize it was James when I was taking notes.
Uh-huh.
And
Is that
I
mole
called
guy?
him. I called him miniature gluttonies.
Miniature. He does look like Gluttony. You are right.
He's a bunch of little gluttonies. I put. Big Beard Squad Zero teaches Renji. Okay, that was just. And then there's the after
Ichigo,
credit.
Yeah. Is what the after credit is what?
The Yuhabaha takes back the superstar power.
Yes. Which you kind of learn that, maybe there's a reason why Uru is a successor and not the other Quincy's, because maybe the other Quincy's aren't real.
Good point. Episode 6
Is
so Ichigo begins traveling through the 72 layers
and that's kind of
down to the Sarate.
But this is the one where Rukia and Byakuya take on Asnot.
Yes.
And Asnot's cool.
Wait, before you get there, I thought this was kind of cool. They told Ichigo that to travel through the 72 layers by foot, it would take a week.
Yes. So he says, okay, I'm not going to, and then just jumps down.
He jumps, and it'd take him 3 hours. And then he calls Kisuke and tells him, oh, that's because they said no. He said it'll take a week or a half a day, I guess, I don't know if he runs or something.
If he flash steps.
Okay, that's right, yeah. And
But he'd
then
be
they
exhausted
told him,
by the end of
They
it.
told him that that the invasion started 3 hours ago, so he just jumps.
Yeah.
And then he calls Kisuke and says,
hey, I'm on my
I'll be
way there.
Yeah, in a couple hours.
Yeah, and he's got to wear the clothing, too, to protect him from the
I
layers.
love that clothing. He
He's
looks
so
like a
drippy,
Sherpa.
dude. He's awesome.
It is cool. Actually, that's one of the cool things that Bleach does.
Is fashion.
With Ichigo, too. He's always got some different
cool outfit.
Yeah.
So,
And then you got the OP.
yeah, the OP is great. We haven't
right.
talked about the OP.
Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about the OP. I love this OP.
This Stars is such a good OP. I'll make it the intro for this episode.
Okay, add it to it.
We'll talk about the OP later.
Okay.
And the ED too later. I don't like the ED though.
And then apparently when this one starts, what's the blonde Quincy? The blonde long hair Quincy?
Jugram,
He's explaining to Uryu.
how the balance ability works, right?
Yeah.
He's like, hey, look at my cool scale. I can kill Quincy's and take their power and redistribute it somewhere else.
Yes.
So
Yeah, and this is where you find does he explain it to him then that every one of these Quincy's is
just Yubahaj's power redistributed.
Yuhabaha's power redistributed, and when they fail, he basically kills them off and takes their power back.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you're kind of confused and like, I thought Uru was the last Quincy and his dad.
And in this episode is where Rukia is fighting the fear guy.
Yes. I like Asnot. I think
Yeah,
it's
he's cool.
Is it a he?
Yeah, he's a he.
Okay.
And okay, this is I love this part of my notes. So his whole deal is when you're fighting him, he instills fear in you.
Yes.
And once you have that fear, you're basically done for.
Yes.
And he had this explanation, which I thought was pretty cool, that says
His visuals are really cool. I will talk about that in
Oh, yeah,
a
they're
minute,
very cool.
But
and he says that feelings of safety cannot be described, but feelings of fear can.
That's true. I mean, that's very true.
Well, and it's funny, I have in my notes that's sales training 101.
Is it really?
So when you're selling something, you're selling fear.
Fear. Makes sense.
If you don't make this decision, I can describe to you all the bad things that can happen to your business.
But I can't describe the good things that will happen if you make this decision.
But it's harder to describe the good things that will happen than it is to describe the bad things. So I just thought that was kind of interesting that that's the same type of
I mean, it makes
thing they
sense.
use here. Yeah, exactly. So Rukia says...
Yeah, Rukia does some cool shit. And his ability's contact-based, right?
I don't think so.
I thought it was.
This is where she starts to... She says she controls her Reishi, And this is where she becomes...
kind of starting to freeze herself.
She can go down to absolute zero.
Oh, yeah, and that's the point, is she can't be afraid if she's dead or something.
Yeah, so if she's at absolute zero, but he kind of tries...
Oh, that's what it is. That's what it is. I remember it now. His ability works on contact with living beings.
Okay.
That's what it is. Because I thought there was some gimmick to his ability, and it's that it has to be contact with something living. Or something like that.
Body may be frozen, but he can put fear in the optic nerve as nerves still work at absolute zero.
Yeah.
I have in my notes very JoJo-ish.
That is very JoJo-ish.
And they also go through his backstory, which is really pretty sad.
It is. Because he had fear of dying, right?
He was
hospitalized.
And for some reason, whatever hospitalized him kind of put him in agony.
Yes.
And
that's also, he's very much a JoJo character.
He very much
Because, I mean,
is.
that whole backstory is what Poochie does to the one guy.
There's another one, too, that later on that I think is very JoJo-y, too.
Is it the Night? No, it's not the Night guy.
Yeah.
I mean, Mask to Mask is JoJo in a sense as well, but...
So he was in the hospital bed in agony. Yuhabaha bestowed power upon him.
Yes. And said, you will not be afraid of dying because...
Yes, and that's why control of fear becomes his thing.
Yes.
I have that Byakuya saves Rukia. Was she...
He kind of does. He kind of comes to her aid a little bit. Because... Right? She's struggling a little bit, and then Byakuya shows up, kind of even stuff out, but then Rukia still takes the lead, so it's not like he's saving her, he's just kind of assisting her.
Okay, yeah, and he's kind of... I remember him explaining to her that you have to be very careful with this, because if you're not controlling your Reichi completely... Okay, we talked about this. This part visually is so freaking cool. Where when she freezes, she turns white.
Right, yes. That, and also how cool it is visually when there's the one image of all the eyes that Asnod is making. Rukia gets imprisoned, right, mentally,
yeah,
and there's all the eyes looking inward. That was so fucking cool.
Yes, that is really cool too. Yeah, okay, that's cool. But I like when after she talks to Byakuya.
Yeah, she's like this.
She freezes,
really pretty white.
Yeah,
like her eyelashes are white, her hair is all white,
because she's thought about using it carefully. When she transitions back to normal temperature Rukia, it's like a very slow transition from white back to black.
Yes, it's a defrost.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. And then the end of this, someone attacks little Kenpachi.
Little Kenpachi. Her name is Yachiru.
Okay, Yachiru.
Yeah. Don't mess with the goat's name. Yachiru the goat.
Now we have Sternritter V.
Sternritter V.
He's in his form where he looks like an old dude with glasses.
Yes.
And he is talking about how he can erase people's memories from existence. And then it goes to the OP. What's her name again?
Yachiru.
So here she talks about trusting her tingles.
Yes.
And Kenny's told her to trust her tingles.
Yes.
And she realizes that something is not right. This is how she fights him. Because Sterner V is wondering, how does she even realize I'm around?
Yeah.
But I like that she calls him Kenny.
I do too. It's a classic. She's fucking hysterical.
So he turns into Sternritter V, the blonde version of Sternritter V, and
Gremmy. His name's Gremmy.
Oh, Gremmy, yeah. Well, is that not Sternritter V and Gremmy? Same thing?
Sternritter V. His name is Gremmy.
Okay, and he turns little Kenpachi's bones into cookies.
Yes, I thought that was really funny. It's like, what's this random thing? So Sternritter V is the visionary. His power, Gremmy's power, is that basically anything he imagines is true.
Yes.
Which is such a JoJo. Is this the one you also think is JoJo-y?
This is JoJo-y, but it's not who I'm thinking of.
I think it's JoJo-y because you learn this later, but his whole power is just capped by his mental ability and his cognitive function, which very much reminds me of Okuyasu from part 4.
Okay, I can see
And
that.
how it's very much such a broken ability.
Yeah.
But you give it to a guy who just can't think properly, and you have a balance to it's balanced. Go ahead.
Kenpachi arrives.
Yes. With
We've talked about this. I love Kenpachi.
Kenpachi's so cool.
And even in regular Bleach, I think he was always my favorite character.
That's really fair.
And we always talk about, we watched the dubs.
Yes. He doesn't like the fact that the actor changed.
I don't like the new guy as much. He's still good though.
Yeah. The new actor.
Yeah, I know. Who was he again?
He's Dio.
Oh, that's right.
He's Dio. He's Patrick Swayze or something like that.
Patrick Swayze.
No,
It's definitely not Patrick Swayze.
it's
Roadhouse.
hold on. It's Patrick.
It is Patrick something. He's good, but I don't like him as much as the original guy. So it just kind of it gets me a little bit. But he arrives, and this is a really cool fight scene. Like
It's Patrick Seitz.
Okay.
Seitz. So I was close enough.
Sorry, Patrick, if you're listening. I think you do a good job.
I think you do a good job.
I just prefer the prior VA.
I didn't listen to. I read.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't even
hear
know.
it. And that's the thing is maybe it's just because that's who I.
It's a nostalgia
Watched.
thing.
This is an awesome fight. It begins with Sternritter V putting Kenpachi in a cube of water.
Awesome.
And I noted here that as this fight is going on, Yuhabaha is sitting up on that tower just watching the fight with binoculars.
I know.
It's just kind of
It's
odd
awesome.
thing. And so Kenpachi is so cool that he's... what you gather from this is that Gremmy has never fought somebody.
No, Gremmy's been not handicapping himself, but
Well, he's never
not-
had a difficult fight.
yeah, he's not prepared.
And he's
for this
certainly
fight.
not fought somebody who is arrogant
Yes.
in return. And he's getting very mad. And in this, because you have the whole thing with him, what did he send little Kenpachi down in like a valley, in like a
Yes.
crevice,
Yes.
and then
He opened. So basically, the whole thing is he makes an arena. Is his whole thing like he visionaries a whole like battlefield, and then uses that battlefield to his advantage.
and then everything he does though, Kenpachi is basically able to overcome it.
Yes.
So he's getting so mad that he even says, I want to crush you. So I've never had this feeling before.
Yes.
Like I just want to crush you. He kind of intimates that he's always won and now he's really getting this. And so he pulls out all these guns and bombs and everything, and he's firing them, and Kenpachi's cutting them all with his blades. And then he summons a giant meteor.
Yes, that's so cool. And the whole thing with the meteor is
Do you remember this part?
he says it's just going to kill all of us, right?
Yeah, but visually, do you remember what happens here?
Yes, it's the giant flaming meteor comes down from the sky, right?
Yeah.
And it's just really cool. It's really big.
I
And
remember
it's on fire.
You and I watched this together when this happened, so you'll
It's just such a wide scale.
you'll remember what I'm talking about. So the beginning of it, Kenpachi's face goes from whatever it was shaded into shaded all yellow, and then when Kenpachi cuts it, it all goes black and white.
Yes, I do remember that now. That was really cool.
Yes, it was a cool black and white scene.
So yeah, he cuts the meteor. It's like, bruh.
And they fight a little bit more, and so do you remember how Kenpachi defeats him?
Yeah, I remember Kenpachi
What happens?
defeats him. He cuts him, right? I mean, he just
Good thing I took notes.
no, because he uses Bankai.
Mm-mm.
No, fuck. He calls that. I'm forgetting. It's something to do with his sword, though, right? Because he calls that the name of it.
All right, so remember...
We're totally skipping over when he puts Kenpachi in the fucking vacuum of space as well. So good thing I took mental notes that Kenpachi went to
I
space.
mean, that just happens next.
All right, buddy.
Yes, he does put him in space next.
I thought that was cool though.
That is kind of cool.
'Cause
Actually, that reminds me
he
of.
puts him in space. He kind of seals him off, and he just walks out of it.
That kind of reminds me of
JoJo,
yeah, JoJo.
when they're fighting Lang Wrangler in the one area, and
Well, who
weather
did they
report-
seal into space?
Oh, Cars.
Cars.
Yeah.
Cars sealed in space. So you're right. So the next thing he does, he tries to put him in space. That doesn't work.
And
So
that's
what
when
happens
Kenpachi
is-
explains everything to him.
The whole thing is that
Oh, we also
he,
forget
in his mind, made Kenpachi
Kenpachi
into a monster that he can't defeat.
beat. So therefore, he cannot beat
So
him.
therefore, he cannot beat him.
We also
Yes.
forgot when he visually summons all the guns. That's kind of cool.
Well, no, I said that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
All right.
You were on your phone
Oh,
paying
I'm
attention to
looking
something
at the sternritters.
Okay, next on my notes, I have a login and password for my benefits.
That's awesome. All right,
And
go to the
then
next page of notes.
next
Mister
is
only has one notepad.
Next is episode 8.
You're gonna go to log into your benefits. You're gonna put Kenpachi gets.
Oh my
put-
God. Okay, this is where I start to kind of get frustrated. So,
Can
so-
we just skip over all of Giselle as well when we get there?
All right, well, maybe we're about to. Kenpachi, I put Kenpachi can't find little Kenpachi, and he gets ambushed by the girls G, P, Z, and T.
All right. Well, you want to know their names?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So, give me 2 seconds to find that list, because I know exactly what you're talking about. Because it's the 4 group of girls. G is B is Bambietta or Bombs Bambietta, right?
I don't even have.
She's not B.
I don't
but
even have a B. I have G.
G.
Didn't you just say Giselle?
Or do you have them based on their sterns or on
I
their?
just wrote G, P, Z, and T.
So, G is the glutton. Okay, so G is the little blonde-haired girl. She's the one voiced by Suzuha.
Okay.
Tramile, she's the one that has the giant mouth that
Okay.
appears on the side
Yeah.
of her. What was the next one?
P.
P.
Oh, this must be their Sternritter letters.
Yeah, P is the power. So that's the girl with the pink kind of fluffy hair. She kind of looks like she's got like just solid hair.
Okay, Z.
Z is zombie, so that's Giselle. So that's not a girl.
Okay.
That
And then T. Okay.
wait, what? Giselle's wiki page says female. I don't buy that. Giselle's a guy, is it? What? Hold on.
And then T.
And then T is the no, because that's L. No, yeah, T's Thunder. Is it actually? Yeah, the Thunderbolt.
That's the green-haired girl.
Yeah, green-haired girl. Her name is Candace Catnip.
Okay, I like her. She's the only one of them I like.
I like the girl with the mouth.
She's okay. Whatever.
I like
That's that
Suzuha
Gen
though.
Z thing.
Okay, so
The green hair girl strikes
Okay, sorry.
Kenpachi with lightning and hurts him.
I guess Giselle identifies as female, but is a male because she makes a comment that she is a biological male fighting. Anyways, so yeah, Kenpachi gets ambushed by the women.
I got so many notes here, and I don't even want to go through them all. But Ichigo arrives.
Yes, Ichigo shows up, and something I thought they did was really cool is that when Ichigo arrives and kind of beats the shit out of all of them, they play number 1, but they play the 2008 version.
Okay.
So it's not just the stereotypical number 1 Bankai from Thousand Year Blood War. It's, some older version, or not older, some older version that they're not using anymore, which I thought was cool.
Okay.
Because it was distinct to me because I listened to all the number 1
No, I know
versions, but
you're a number 1 connoisseur.
I'm a number 1 connoisseur.
That is cool. though. That is cool. And so he is fighting all of them. They activate their wings.
Yeah.
I put here that when they activate their wings, it makes a Scooby-Doo sound effect.
Does
I
it?
want to go back and listen to it and
That's
add
fucking funny.
that sound effect into this podcast. So we might have to try to do that.
Okay. I can do that.
What guy is it?
What guy?
I say something guy in.
What does he do?
I don't know.
I can tell you.
But I know that now Yuhabaha says that thanks to Ichigo's arrival,
Yes.
that
So
they can now invade
Yes.
the palace.
that's kind of, that's what happens. Ichigo breaks the barrier, and it's
Oh, that's
open
right.
for
Okay,
10
okay,
minutes.
okay.
Because that's what Kisuke says, or Kisuke or Mayuri says it. and they kind of summon a circle and beam the four of them. No, it's just Jugrum, Uru, and Yubaha. They all go up to the royal palace.
Okay.
And that's kind of all happening while this is all happening, and everyone diverts their attention to it. And in that moment as well, Shunsui drops his attention because he doesn't have anything to worry about anymore.
Okay.
That's all.
So this is where Ichigo finds out that Uryu is no longer on their side. And
he goes, oh no, sorry, we're skipping. They haven't left yet. What happened? Yeah, so Ichigo kind of beats up all the women.
Mm-hmm.
And then
that kind of,
I know,
didn't sound good. He beats up the
sternritter women.
Sternritters.
I think he beats up a few guys too, so don't worry about it. And then he goes to fight Uryu. Uryu shoots a bunch of arrows at him.
Yeah.
One cuts Ichigo on the cheek, very anime-like.
Yep.
And then Chad and Orihime. Oh, 1,000-year blood war Orihime, bro. Taite Kubo, I love you.
She's catching up to Rengoku.
Yeah, that's for sure. So Chad and Orihime show up, and then they all beam up. And then they kind of talk for a little bit, and they're like, man, Uryu's a bitch, but we're going to go get him back, and he's going to join our side. Or we'll kill him, but he's going to join our side. And then...
Are we about to get to this, or do I not have it in my notes? The other mid-level Quincy that I absolutely freaking hated.
The zombie girl, right?
The guy with the hearts.
That's later. So they fight Zombie Girl. I forget who initiates the fight with Zombie Girl, but it doesn't even fucking matter because Mayuri comes in and third parties the fight with Giselle. And basically is like, oh, you have your zombies. I have my zombies too. And he pulls out the Arankars. Which I thought was really fucking awesome.
Okay, so that's the next episode. Okay, all right, yeah.
So Mayuri pulls out the Arankars that were fought in the palace, the ones that used to be Espadas,
yes,
but were no longer Espadas. And that has actually one of my favorite characters. I really like the one girl.
Real quick before this, Kisuke arrives and sets up the new little vessel.
Oh yeah,
So he takes Ichigo, Chad, Orihime,
and Yoruichi.
Yeah, and Yoruichi.
And the poor guy. The poor guy's there too.
Yeah. So I have in my notes right that he sends them up to the palace.
Royal Palace.
And then this is when
Mayuri comments on their flight path. Because it kind of shittily takes off.
Yeah.
I'm also skipping over. Sorry. I'm skipping over Visered stuff. I do like Visered stuff.
Okay, yeah. I'm missing a lot here. Kisuke rebuilt the cannon to send them to the palace.
But they don't have the energy for the cannon because they don't have the girl. So Kisuke ends up having the rest of the Visereds take these little rifts that have been appearing in Earth.
Okay.
Where the Quincy's powers are and harvesting the energy from the rift to give to Kisuke to power the thing. Sorry, I really like the Visereds.
No, I'm
so I remember all that.
Yeah, this is good. Because I have here in my notes that Yoruichi arrives with bottles of distortion energy.
Yes, they've been making distortions around Earth.
I also have a note that says, I don't like the Bambi girl, the blood girl, but I do like Mayuri.
Get on subject. So Kisuke launches them up. The flight path is a little rocky. Mayuri makes a comment. God, this podcast episode is rocky. This is Steins Gate Zero Part 2,
great.
but we have notes. So Mayuri's like, oh wow, his rocket really sucks. They're going up. It's wobbly. And that's the last you see of all of them pretty much. They have a little bit of conversation on the rocket, but that's about all you see of them for the rest of this core.
Do you remember this? I have the end of the episode note. I have Toshiro arrives and he's purple.
Yes. So basically what happens is Mayuri is fighting Giselle with the
Oh, yeah,
zombie
this is where you're talking about.
Arankars.
Yes, okay.
The zombie Arankars show up, and they're all the ones that Ichigo.
Okay, that's the next
and all of them
episode.
fought in the palace.
This is episode 10.
So yeah, and then Giselle also reveals the fact that she has a zombie Toshiro. So at some point Toshiro died, or not died, but Toshiro
I actually really
got
like this part.
his blood. Yes, I thought this part was cool just because I like those Arankars.
Well, that and it's just Mayuri is such a.
I fucking love Mayuri.
Well, and the crazy thing about Mayuri is he wants the Soul Society to succeed, and he doesn't care.
He doesn't care at all
what he has.
He has one quote. He says, he says I was born a villain but forced to be a hero or something like that.
He's awesome. So his whole thing was he injected Toshiro with a drug.
Well, that's later on. That's later on.
Oh, I think that's coming up here now.
No, because we still have the fights with the Arankars. I want to talk about the zombie Arankars. I like them.
Okay, go for it.
So he brings back the Arankars. I said this like 5 times. He brings back the Arankars that Ichigo fought in the palace, and it's the kind of the gay guy, the girl with like the yo-yos. She's cool. I like her. She's the one that Udu fought in the palace.
Okay.
And then the 2 other ones. And the whole thing is that they're zombies. He stitched them back together and they're at his control. And the only reason they're at his control is because he electrocutes them or he keeps killing them and brings them back. So that's why they can't be zombies. And Yumi Chaka's also there. And Yumi Chaka and the gay guy get into their fight again over just who's cooler.
Okay.
And I thought that was funny. That's all. I also really like that girl.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
So then, yeah, Mayuri fights zombie Toshiro, and he's like, dude, your Bankai is strong. He says, you do this one. Go ahead.
Well, so he's experimenting on him.
Yes.
And the drug makes you go back to a time when you kill your enemy.
Yes. So the whole thing is that every time Toshiro kills Mayuri, time gets reverted. Or
Okay,
something
and then he
like
goes
that.
back.
He goes back. So
I honestly don't even remember what the hell he's experimenting on. I just remember
the whole point
he's
is
experimenting on his
Toshiro,
ally.
Yes, but the whole point is he's waking up Toshiro because Toshiro is mindless and under Giselle's control. So he's trying to confuse the fuck out of Toshiro to wake him up and make him not be a bad guy.
Okay. All right.
I thought that was important to mention because that's the whole reason why he's experimenting.
Yeah, I didn't know why. Okay, that makes sense. So even though he's experimenting on him, he's still trying to help him.
He's trying to awaken his consciousness.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember it well enough other than what I have in the notes, but I do remember thinking that part was really cool.
Yes,
like
that part was really
out.
cool.
Visually.
Yes, it very much was.
Back to Byakuya fight with
so this is
girl.
This is when we cut back to the other women fight, and this is when the heart guy shows up.
Okay, is that Pepe?
That's Pepe.
Pepe's
and
stupid.
Something that people fucking hated is that when Pepe shows up, he uses Shinji's Bankai theme. So
really?
Pepe gets Shinji's Bankai theme, and everyone's like, "Grr, Shinji's theme, not this fucking guy." Everyone hates Pepe.
He sucks.
He sucks.
Pepe is dumb, and I underlined it twice.
Yeah. So he fights. Basically, his whole thing is that he can make an object fall in love with him and then fight for him. But it has to be a living object. So he uses it on Byakuya's sword to do that.
Okay.
And then the sword kind of turns against him. Then he takes another guy's sword. It's the 69 guy's sword, right?
Yes.
He takes the 69 guy's sword and just starts fighting him instead. And then what happens is the gluttony girl just fucking eats him. She's like, I'm done. I don't even want to because you're fucking with us now.
Okay.
And you're being a nuisance. And I don't even care who wins this fight. I'm going to eat him.
And then I have Mayuri's drug makes the Quincy zombies become his zombies.
Yes.
They beat up Pepe.
They beat up Pepe.
And the small Shinji looking Quincy
eats him. Yeah.
Eats him. Okay.
I like her. She's cool. Because she's also
She's the one with the side mouth?
Yeah, she's in the same boat as Bazby for me. Is that they're both the ones who survive Yubaha's thing later on.
Do you think there's people who know this Cour really well who are just so frustrated?
Yes, very much. I know one who has ginger hair who's sitting, probably getting really angry.
And then there's actually a post credit with which is Yuhabaha arriving at the Royal Palace.
Yes.
All right, so this is where
All right. It gets good now. It gets good, guys.
This is where I really start to like this, and it starts out before pre-OP, which is Bead. Okay, I don't know his name.
Basby.
No, big bead guy.
Big bead guy.
Big bead necklace guy.
Ichibe. The namer.
Ichibe. It's a flashback to Ichibe and
Yuhabaha. 1,000
Yuhabaha.
years ago, right? Or more than 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
I'll let you take this.
Well, this part I didn't understand until I was watching this recap.
So that's why I'm letting you take this, because I didn't understand it.
This is where somebody can email us or whatever. But they're trying to divide up basically
The kingdoms.
And
you know what kingdom isn't mentioned?
what?
The Bount Kingdom.
Okay.
So all I'm saying is Bleach theory, the real victors of Cour 4 is going to be the Bounts. The Bounts are going to show up, and because they have no affiliation to the Soul King nor anyone else, they're going to show up and they're just going to be like, I'm immune to all your guys' rules. The Bount Kingdom rules, and we're going to kill all of you. I'm totally joking.
I skipped all the filler in Bleach.
Well, the Bounts are canon to the anime, probably, maybe.
Just to take a slight diversion, when I watched Bleach, I skipped all the filler. But you and I have gone back and watched some of the more comical.
Three filler episodes.
Oh, we've watched more than 3.
No.
I think we have.
Beach episode, Halloween episode, Mummy episode, or Arabian Nights episode. There's only 3.
I thought either way, they're really funny.
Who summons the genie of the lamp?
They're
Rukia.
They're really funny.
I'm not Rukia. I'm Rookie.
It's good stuff.
Who summons the genie of the lamp?
So, here's what I didn't get from watching it, but then watching this recap YouTube video. Apparently, the Soul King is Yuhabaha's dad?
Yeah, they're everyone's, because the Soul King has birthed everyone.
Okay, so he's everyone's dad?
Yeah. The Soul King he's the creator of everything. Like,
Okay.
Soul King is God.
Okay. So in this flashback, they're negotiating, and Yuhabaha feels like whatever. What's Big Bead guy's name?
Ichibe. I can't think of his last name, but that's his name. Big Bead by. I know it's complicated because Ichigo, but
Okay, so do you want to pause this real quick to get a power cord for your?
no, you're good. I'll just turn it up right now. Sorry, my laptop's about to die. We'll be good. We can clutch this.
Okay, I mean it doesn't. We
No,
can
it's
get a
fine.
power
It's fine.
cord.
We'll be good.
So apparently their negotiations broke down.
Yes.
Yuhabaha did not like it.
And he tries to attack Ichibe, right?
Yeah.
And then Ichibe summons the power of the Soul King to kind of defend himself.
Yes, and then it goes to OP.
Because you see the 4-eye thing again.
Exactly, yes. It goes to the OP. So Kisuke now sends Ichigo and crew to the Royal Palace. So I guess he didn't do it in the in that past episode. He was preparing to.
Yes.
Now he does. All right, so this is where we get to the really cool
Stuff.
Royal Palace fights. So it starts out with, I'm calling her the geisha girl. I don't.
Do you want me to find her name real quick?
Yeah.
Keep
Okay.
ramping.
The geisha girl fights another Quincy that I don't like, which is the two-tongued.
The two-tongued one.
Ugh.
That one is
I don't like two-tongued.
Nyanzel Weasel, and their shrift is W, the wind.
Okay. So I love Geisha Girl. She's awesome. And she is a seamstress, basically.
Yes.
And she puts clothes. She clothes Senjimaru. I'm not going to remember that, but she clothes him with basically clothes that have needles and just basically impales him. So he's gone. And then next, she faces Yuhabaha, but then he quickly calls up his 4 guards.
Yes.
And these are the guys that I really like. These are the
cool
Quincy's.
So these ones are, we have the compulsory. So that's the little Ewok or Jawa.
Okay, that one I don't
dude.
fully understand.
To quote the wiki, the powers are evolution, governance, and auto nerve manipulation.
Okay.
That doesn't make any sense. Askin, my goat Askin with death dealing. He's cool. He's the guy who looks like Aizen. You also have who else?
Who's the guy with the big gun?
The guy with the big gun, X-axis dude?
X-axis. Let's just call him X-axis.
Lile Barrow.
So he shoots the geisha girl in the head, and then they reveal that this is a fake
Yes.
entrance to the royal palace.
Yes. And then you're also forgetting the guy with the sword, the Viking guy.
Yes. Is he the one with the blood?
Is he the blood is Askin.
Okay, that's
Because that's
okay.
death dealing. He does the lethal amount of blood. He's the miracle. His name is literally Gerald Valkyrie, whatever. So yeah, good lord. Yubaha calls up the 4 guys. They start fighting. Tongue guy, Senjimaru.
Okay,
And then
so
they reveal that it's actually a fake
and
royal
then,
palace. Ichibei said, "Hey, I drew this one."
And then number 1 Zanpakuto
Toe
creator
creator
shows up, and
well, all of Squad Zero shows up because
they all show up. But
once the fake royal palace is revealed, it's revealed that they were actually all in the one girl, the more what's her name?
Portly.
Yeah, her name is Kirio. Her cage.
Yeah, she made the
womb
cage.
is what they call it.
Yeah, the womb. She made the cage. But when number 1 Zanpakuto creator shows up, he quickly defeated everyone except for Yuhabaha, Uryu, and the blonde guy.
Yes.
So he seemingly defeated everyone.
Shonen.
Yuhabaha escaped by throwing his pin out through the womb, and then he shows up with Big B guy.
Yes, Ichibei.
And then the next episode starts, and it shows this giant red sky over the Serite, and the Serite is destroyed. Kisuke is drawing in the sand, and the Vizeret arrive.
Yes.
They revealed that So Kisuke was supposed to have waited to send the Vizeret up to the royal palace,
but they didn't have time.
Along with
Ichigo,
but they didn't have time. And that's where Yoruichi's brother was there too.
And I've never seen this dude in the manga.
Has he ever shown up anywhere?
No, I don't think so.
It's just kind of weird.
It was very weird. I thought it was like a trick or something.
And he was all sad, and then it really kind of focused around that, and then it went to the OP, and it was really weird because I never saw him either.
I know.
Yuhabaha and Bead Guy fight.
Yes.
Bath Guy fights Blonde Quincy.
Yes.
Geisha,
they all get split up.
Yeah, Geisha fights Uryu. Number 1 Zanpakuto enemy who he defeated comes back to life. That Aizen lookalike.
Yeah.
Okay, Aizen lookalike is the one who poisons
Askin. So his ability is that
his name is Askin?
His name is Askin.
So he's not only Aizen lookalike, but his name is almost Aizen.
He's awesome though. He kind of makes so cool. So his ability is that he he understands the lethal dosage of anything and can adjust anything to reach that lethal dosage or be under that lethal dosage. So basically, he puts so much blood in I can't think of his name. Number 1 Zanpakuto creator's body.
I don't know his name.
Number 1 Zanpakuto creator's body that
Number
he
1
almost...
Zanpakuto creator.
He's the greatest. We also totally forgot about the part where he contains his sword in a bucket of water.
Oh, because he created the sharpest.
He created the sharpest sword and can't go in a hill. So he keeps it in water.
Freaking awesome. This is the one I said was very JoJo-esque. When they're describing the
death dealing one. Oh yeah.
The amount of blood.
It's so stupid, but it's fucking hysterical. So he cuts himself.
And then he's saved by Bloodbath guy.
And then so that kind of happens. And meanwhile, and then the other fight is what? X-Axis and the life girl, the girl who made the womb.
Oh, yes,
he's trying to
that's
shoot
right.
out the womb, and he's explaining his whole gun power and whatever. And then she's like, so actually your bullets are made of reishi, and that's what my trees feed on. So you're making the womb stronger than
Every
weaker.
time. Well, and then there was also a time where he shot number one Zanpakuto through the chest. And what? No,
But that's later.
Oh, is that later?
That's later, because that's when they all get split up, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, regardless. If it's
Regardless.
In order. And because the one thing he
explains that his bullets reach their target no matter what.
Well, no, but he sets the end target. So he said it destroys everything between the gun and what the target is. Because that was the thing is number one Zanpakuto got in the way of the gun to where Yuhabaha was directly behind him. And he thought that if you shoot me, you're also going to shoot Yuhabaha.
Because he said nothing stops his bullet.
Yes.
And he's like, until they reach the target.
Until it reaches the target. The target was set before Yuhabaha.
Yes. So it was set at.
And then there's fights between... What's the B guy's name again?
Ichibe
and Yuhabaha.
Yeah. So let's tackle them separately, right?
Okay.
So what happens is they each kind of fight down at the base, and then at some point the tree girl expands the womb and separates them all.
Okay.
So they're now all split up, very shonen-esque.
Yes, very shonen-esque.
Tree girl gets paired with the crumble guy, the Ewok looking one. Askin gets paired with
number one Zanpakuto.
Yeah, he sticks with number one. No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Askin gets paired with the hot tub guy,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, you might be right. Yeah, because you're right. That's
Askin gets paired with the hot tub guy.
You're right.
And then what? The Valkyrie guy gets paired up with Zanpakuto creator? No. Valkyrie guy gets paired up with the girl, and then Zanpakuto creator gets Uryu.
Okay.
I think.
It's funny that I don't have that in my notes.
I don't know. They get split up and they fight one-on-one, and it looks like they're about to win, but then they all kind of lose. And the womb crumbles, and they're all there, and basically they're like, all right, shit, we got to do something. So Senjumaru steps up, and she explains that they're all just using swords, like in their Shikai. They've not used their Bankai.
Yes.
Because their powers have been sealed and limited because they've been so strong. And to break that seal, 3 of them have to die.
Hold on. Before we go to this, you wanted to separate, but I don't think we can separate.
Okay.
So, in relationship to this, when is it that Yuhabaha started to strip every...
Oh, yes. So that's...
This is how they...
During his fight with Ichibe.
Yeah, because actually the in that fight in the wound, the
other Quincy's could power it up too. That's why they...
Well, but the soul the Soul Society was winning this fight. And then Yuhabaha
notices that he's losing.
Yes, so he summoned all the powers back
of
from
the Quincy's,
all the Quincy's,
killing them all.
Yes. Killed all the Quincy's in the Sarate.
Except Bazby and the Gluttony Girl, who both managed to escape or live through it.
Okay. So everyone else's power was brought up to the Soul Palace and reinfused back into...
Distributed to Yubaha and the rest of the Quincy's, or the rest of the surviving
So at this
Sternritters.
point in time, it looks like the Quincy's have the upper hand. And then this is where...
Senjumaru explains the fact that their powers are limited.
Yes.
3 of them need to die. So number 1's Zanpakuto creator, the tree girl, and hot spring guy all kill themselves.
Yes.
To unlock the seal that is Senjumaru's Bankai.
Okay.
And she uses her Bankai. Meanwhile, Ichibe and Yubaha are fighting, and it's confusing how his power works, but basically whatever Ichibe blocks out with his ink becomes nameless and therefore powerless.
Yeah.
Because whatever has a name doesn't have a power. They fight a bunch. He blacks out the name of Yubaha. It makes it Yuba, right? Or Waba. He shortens his name.
At the very end?
He shortens his name somehow, making him less powerful. And then I think Yubaha says something like, "Oh, I named myself," or whatever. And then...
Yeah, their fight gets pretty confusing.
Yeah, their fight's really confusing. But basically, their fight doesn't even end because it kind of gets evened out, right? Because he puts on his sword mode, it kind of gets evened out, and then it goes back to Senjimaru's Bankai. And that's where it ends. It ends with Senjimaru's Bankai.
No, actually, it doesn't, but we'll talk about that. So,
okay. But...
All right, so Senjimaru's
Bankai, because we got to kind of wrap up here.
Is the geisha girl, right?
Is the geisha girl, yes. So her Bankai is storytelling thread, basically.
Yes.
So she encapsulates all of the sternritters in her Bankai and goes over the locks, or they're called something, and everyone gets a different thread. And these threads are prophecy foretelling threads of their fate-ish.
But you're saying that because you've been told that. We didn't know that from watching.
Yes. But they are
because when you watch this, it looks like she's just killing each of them
yes.
in a different way.
So, Crumple guy gets spiked to death, right? Or spiked.
Yeah, I'm not. Gonna
Either her ass can get spiked. Viking guy gets frozen. One of them gets burnt. Uryu's dies by following a star or something like that.
I just thought that this part was really...
It's really cool, really well animated.
And, very well animated. Reminds me so much of Madoka Magica when they go in, and you haven't seen it, but when they go into the different witches' layers, and you just have these just totally distinct, cool animation styles.
Yes, that makes sense.
And each of these guys, each of the Quincy's had a different fate, and... I thought that part was really cool.
It's awesome.
So it goes from there to, remember, Yuhabaha, or Big Bead guy, Ichibe. From my perspective, I don't know where this will go, because remember,
I know where it goes.
He renames him Black Ant.
Yes.
And then he apparently crushes him.
I know where it goes.
So
I know where it goes.
So the end of this episode makes it seem like Big Bead guy, Ichibe, renames Yuhabaha and crushes him.
I know. I will say I know how.
Well, I know. There's more to this. Obviously, I know there's another core after this.
No,
I know it doesn't end, but it kind of it gives you the idea that's done. That
Yuhaba's been stopped.
Yeah, Yuhabaha has been crushed, and that
the sternritters are dead.
Yeah, the sternritters are all dead from the geisha girl. It makes it seem like it's done, and obviously it's not. But that's how this ends.
Yeah.
All right. What percentage you got left?
I'm at 5%. We can talk about the OPED. So OP is so fucking good. Animation's so cool.
I love
they're like in life. There's some cool stuff that
I just like Soifon record shopping.
I will say one thing that I think is really cool is that Asnot is skateboarding, and then Rukia hits Asnot with a fire extinguisher, leaving herself covered in fire extinguisher dust, which fucking foreshadows her Bankai.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
I thought that was awesome.
That's pretty funny. Who's playing basketball?
I don't even remember, but I know Shinji kicks a sign at Bambietta.
I think Renji was playing basketball.
But yeah, the OP is really good. The music's really good. There's a part where Yuhaba's in a helicopter that's really fucking funny.
Yeah, that's right. Because he's reaching down to Uryu.
Yes. And then the whole thing where at the very end, Ichigo and Uryu fight in a music shop, and Ichigo grabs this double-headed guitar.
God, that's right.
Which is so cool because it represents the fact that he has 2 Zanpakuto toes.
Okay.
And Uryu grabs a violin to show the fact that he's more classically trained.
That's cool. I didn't pick up on that.
It's really cool.
The music's good.
I don't like the ED as much, I will say.
I don't even remember the ED, to be honest.
Yeah, the ED's really boring. Yeah.
Okay, so overall, we've got probably a couple minutes before your computer dies. How long has this been anyways?
Hour 14.
Okay, so not that long.
But yeah, Cour 2 is good. It's very confusing
It's good.
because of all just the random little fights, and there's seemingly no order. You could place them all here and there. But
Yeah, it's funny because
it's very much it's a lot of nothing, but it's entertaining nothing. If that makes sense.
We refer back to our Steins Gate Zero episode, and as
a failure,
as a reset, we watched Steins Gate Zero, and I had already seen it before, but my memory's bad.
And
then we
totally
waited like
just
3
butchered
weeks
it.
to podcast about it, and kind of had forgotten it. This time, at least I had notes, but
even
still
then,
with
it's
notes,
just so fucking confusing and low level, and just
yeah. So those of you who
are screaming at us,
are mad,
we're
at us,
screaming at us too.
We're sorry. Boy, that middle part
I know.
is tough to keep up with. But I'm
excited for Cour 3. From what I've heard, Cour 3 is really, really good. I have a friend who keeps up with it every week, and he's been really enjoying
and I
what
think
he's been
there's
seeing.
either 4 or 5 episodes so far that have been dubbed.
I'm binging it all. I'm getting caught up tonight.
I'm not tonight, but
Well, I'm gonna try and get caught up tonight or tomorrow. I have a lot of car time in the Thanksgiving.
oh yeah, you'll
drive.
be able to. Well, I can
Listen,
shoot.
if you're not caught up, we'll figure it out.
Okay, so do we know how much is left of this? Is this Cour the last?
Cour 4 will end it all.
So there's 2 more Cours.
There's 24 more episodes.
So probably 26 more episodes?
Probably, yeah.
Since Cour 1 and 2 are 13 and 13?
Yeah. But yeah, we're getting close to the end of Bleach. And I've heard Cour 3 really deviates from the manga, so it's going to be really exciting to see.
So this is where it starts to change a lot?
What's going to be new and stuff.
Yeah, like I said, it's not the lack of Ichigo that
it's
made
just
me
the confusing
not like
little
Cour 2
Quincy's.
as much as Cour 1, but I'm really ready for more Ichigo. I want a Cour where he's actually doing some fun.
I think this one will have some cool stuff. From what I've seen, I've watched the trailer. There's some cool shit, and I'm gonna tease this here. A certain villain comes back, so it's a 2-way battle between 2 villains.
Aizen?
Maybe.
Well, he did distort time to Yuhabaha when he was
Maybe
originally attacking the Seireitei.
Maybe he comes back, and maybe some other
What?
maybe some other characters come back too. You know, maybe there's some Fullbringers that come back, and a certain Arankar that comes back.
We need to put other things in here besides Bleach.
We do.
I want to just do a.
We'll get
Let's
some.
do
cool
some
ones.
short episodes.
Let's get some
and just
lists,
do
baby.
other things.
Let's do half-hour lists.
All right, I'm gonna get a half-hour list. We're gonna do this
Half-hour
here.
list saga.
We've got. Well, we won't be able to do it in vacation time, but we'll have to do it. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. If this is coming out tomorrow, which it probably won't, but this is being recorded the day before Thanksgiving, so happy late Thanksgiving.
Happy late Thanksgiving. Well, why don't you do it tonight?
Because I don't want to do it tonight.
All right, fine.
It's 11:41 p.m.
All right, thank you everybody for listening.
Thank you guys.
We appreciate it very much.
We appreciate you guys for listening to our train wrecks.
Good night.
Email us, please, generationalanimepod@gmail.com. Thank you.